What does a concert venue look like? They all look a little bit different, so I thought I would take this opportunity to show you around one of the concert venues that I work in. We'll take a look at what kind of mixer we're using, how we're getting signals to and from the stage and how we navigate signals around the stage, the speakers that we're using for the PA and the monitors, and the kind of equipment that we have lying around backstage. If you're mixing a lot of shows already, I hope this just gives you an interesting insight into what a different venue might look like. And if you're not mixing a lot of shows already, I hope this gives you an idea of what you can expect from a concert space. We have a Dante system in here, so if you're new to Dante or you want some help with it, then you can check out my free Dante cheat sheet in the description below this video. But let's take a look around. Salt is a sort of multi-venue art space in the centre of Oslo. It was originally meant to be temporary, but now it seems to be here to stay. There are 3 stages in Salt, the smallest of which has about 100 capacity, the middle one about 350, and the largest one has a capacity of about 600 people. That's the main stage, and that's the one we're going to be taking a look at today. Salt's slogan is art and music, and they tend to have a mix of comedy, theatre and concerts, so that's really fun. They also have a sauna right beside all the venues and right beside the fjord, so I cannot recommend it enough. If you're in Oslo, you should definitely go and check it out. But for now, let's take a look at the main stage. So we're using a full-sized M32 as the sound mixer in this venue. You're probably familiar with an M32, but if you've not, then it's got 32 channels of input audio, 6 auxiliary channels, 16 buses, and 6 matrix outputs, and a bunch of effects engines, graphic EQs. It's a very, very capable digital mixer. The great thing about the full-size version is that you have 16 channels at your fingertips, plus 8 DCAs or buses or whatever you want over here. You've really got a lot of control just available here. And with the more updated firmwares compared to when it came out, you have DCA spell, things like that. It's great. I won't get too much into M32 because I've made so many videos about it. I think the thing that makes the full-size version really nice compared to the rack-mounted version or the compact version is so many programmable soft keys and rotary controls. I like to set these up to have sort of mute groups, tap tempo for delay, and these rotary encoders I usually use for the reverb times. Other than that, the functionality is identical to the smaller versions of it. It's still got a whole bunch of input channels on the back of it, though we only use 1 or 2, usually for playback, an iPad at front of house, and we've got the talkback section going on here. There is a cat cable which runs under the floor up to the stage, so let's take a look at the stage box. So obviously the other end of our cat cable comes up to the stage here, and it connects into the back of our stage box, our DL32 stage box. If you don't know the DL32 stage box, pretty standard with M32 mixers. You've got 32 channels of microphone inputs, 16 channels of XLR outputs, line level outputs. We are connecting to the PA just on the left-right. There's not really a lot interesting to talk about that stage box. We also have several analog stage boxes which we use to split the stage into zones. The stage is maybe about 8 meters wide by about 5 meters deep, so it is quite a large stage, and it's really helpful to have these analog stage boxes to get inputs from other points in the stage to this stage box here. We can move on a little and talk about monitoring, because we have an amplifier sitting underneath this guy, and we have permanently connected 3 channels of monitor outputs, right? So these XLRs just go into this amplifier, and then there are 3 speak-on connectors which come out of this amplifier and go to the monitors which are sitting on the stage right now. For monitoring, we have 3 TurboSound 15-inch monitors which are passive, connected to this amplifier, like I said. We have a really cool little feature in this venue, which is a sort of trough at the front of the stage, which allows us to hide cables. Makes it really, really neat for running stage boxes, running speak-on cables, and we can just pull out those speak-on cables whenever we need to deploy the monitors. And when we want to tidy them away, we just pack them away and hide the cables in that trough. To supplement that, we actually have 8 active TurboSound monitors, which we can just drag out, run an XLR from this stage box, and some power from here or from behind the stage, and then we have as many monitors as we could possibly need. I think once you're using more than 10 monitors in this stage, it's probably not worth adding any more. If this has been interesting so far and you'd like to see more of this stuff, please subscribe to the channel. For the main PA, we have 4 of these View A8s, I believe they are. We also have 2 of these, I think they are H10 speakers by View as front fills, just playing in from the sides. And further down the hall, we have 2, I believe they are A10 speakers by view, which act as delay fills. But the room's been moved around a fair bit since the PA was installed. There was no bar at the back of the room when it was installed. So not so sure about the positioning of the delay speakers nowadays, but obviously it would be more ideal to have the mix position be slightly further forward in the room, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so behind me here is our backstage area. I'm not going to go further in because there's terrible lighting in there and you won't see a thing anyway. But we have a selection of microphone cables hanging on the wall of different lengths. They are color-coded, which is always very nice. We have jack cables hanging up there. We have the aforementioned stage boxes, which we use to divide up the stage into different sections. And we also have a ton of power extensions. Like I said, we're using active monitors for a lot of monitoring, so we need a lot of power extensions. We've got a trolley here that you can see, which has 6 Neve Tech stage plates on it. So we use them for building drum risers, building stage risers, that kind of thing. Behind me on the right, you can see our microphone cupboard and our microphone stand storage. It's pretty standard. I've done a video on all the kind of microphones that you'll find in a venue, and this venue is no different. We also have a selection of backline. We have some guitar amplifiers, some bass amplifiers, and we have a full drum kit in here. I think it's a DW drum kit. I can't remember off the top of my head. We've also got a small selection of wireless microphones that we use for conference stuff, comedy, and theatre. Behind the curtain on stage right, there's actually a super steep staircase that heads up to a loft, and the loft is the backstage area, where artists can chill out before or after their show. I hope this has been interesting. Leave a comment down below and let me know if this is different or similar to any venues that you've worked in. Until next time, goodbye.